Good afternoon, everyone. We're back with another episode of Say What You Feel. And tonight we got an entrepreneur, a good friend of mine, who has a lifelong journey. You know, he's been through his ups and downs, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and he gonna talk about his journey and what he's been through.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Willies. Government name is Michael Willies, but for the most part, everybody call me Mike.
Mike, Mike, we know you. I know you're a business owner, got a family, and but I know years ago, I don't back in what. Well, how long has it been since your life changing, your life changed? When did it happen? You know, to let you know, but Mike, he has one of his legs been cut off. I mean, he's been through the storm. You know, it wasn't always like this. He did have both his legs working at one time, but one time in life, back in the day, something changed, and he's going to tell you about before it changed, the type of person he was, and the type of person he is now.
I guess we should start with June 3rd, 1996 is when my life changed. I was shot and robbed broad daylight by a 16-year-old at the time. He robbed me a $260 pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses and a watch at the time. Wow, just going back, I still get the chills.
I mean, before we jump into that part, how was you before the robbery? What type of person were you? You know, you thought you was. Cause I know when you talk offline, you said you was.
Oh, okay.
You said you was you was more flamboyant, or you was more, you was a different before you got shot. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, before I got shot, it's no secret. I just actually shared it with my youngest daughter today. And I shared it with my mom as well about, how can I put it? Just say it. The old me, when I look in the mirror, I can honestly say, who was that guy? And I think I like the guy that I am today versus yesterday. The old me, before I got injured, I was arrogant, conceited, and thought, honestly, the world revolved around Mike Willies and nothing could never happen to him.
So basically, the old you just thought you was everything. You thought you could do. You was untouchable.
Honestly, yes. That's a mild way of putting it. I'm not happy to say this, but womanizer, had the job, the clothes, the money at the time. You know, you figure you working for UPS in the 90s and you making $18.50 an hour. Oh, you think you're on top of the world, but God has a way of showing you that he can bring you down to your knees and strip you of everything, which he has done. He stripped me of everything. Going back into June 3rd, 1996, around 5:40 p.m. That's when things had took a change, and the first person I called out to was him. You know, when things like this happen to you, God has a way of showing you that he's in control.
Oh, definitely. That's amen to that. You know that sometimes God has to humble you, and sometimes he has to sit you down and let you know he's in control. Especially if he knows your heart, and he know at that point you cried out to him. So at that point you become his child. So you know he just put you in a situation that he know you can handle. You know, but from that point, at that time, 5:46, you said? Around.
It was around 5:40 in the afternoon. Still broad daylight, yes.
You was at an ATM and a gentleman shot you. Did he, was it the reason why he shot you? Did he think you was somebody else, or what was it was just a random robbery?
Let's just say it was a regular robbery. I particularly want to put another party into it, but I'm gonna just say it was a regular robbery at the time. I don't want feelings to be involved.
I understand. So after that point, you got shot. You was in the hospital. I know it affected you mentally, what you was going through. You probably didn't, when you woke up, did you know you was paralyzed or somebody had to tell you?
I'm gonna say this: I was in a hospital for a total between shock trauma and rehab for a total of 9 months, not knowing if I was gonna be able to walk again or not. But I will say that I did have the chance to walk again with KFO leg braces and long strength crutches at the time. That was in my younger years when I was probably 120 pounds lighter. But I noticed as the older I get, the more weight I'm putting on. And, you and I was just saying before I came here, I need to cut some of this weight off because the older I get, the more I'm feeling it, how I'm slowing down more. Yeah, it's getting rough, but I'm going to hang in there. It'll be 29 years, June 3rd. Hopefully I'll be here for another 29 more years to talk about it.
So, at that point, you was in the hospital, you going to your rehab. How did it affect you and your family? I guess mentally, of course physically, but how did it affect your family?
My mother, let me start with her. My mother, may she rest in peace, she had the faith of a mustard seed. My mom, she really didn't cry until after I came out of coma 15 days later. That's when she, shed her tears. We used to joke about it, my uncle and I. He said that he wanted to slap my mom because she was in denial. My uncle Darby took one look at me and said that I was gone. I was literally gone. But it's funny how life works because honestly, all the signs were in front of me. I can go back from me getting off from work early that day, went to go visit my uncle. He was on dialysis at the time. He's deceased as well. I went to see him and I went and changed my clothes over his house and I said to him, Uncle Darby, let me wear one of your watches and you wear this. And he said to me, quote unquote, shit nephew, I'm not going to wear that watch and if something happened to it, you're going to be mad at me. I said to him, okay, if something happened to me, it's going to be on your conscience. That was number one. Number two, I was talking to my youngest daughter's mother at the time. I said to her, if something like that wasn't happening to me because she was looking at some TV show at the time. I'm going to say, I think it was daytime drama. That's what I'm going to call it, daytime drama. And some dude got shot twice. And I just so happened to ask her, I'm going to call her by name. But I said, Keisha, if something like that was to happen to me, would you be there for me? And she was like, why would you say something like that? She said, quote unquote, yes, I will be there for you. And I said, even though we're not together? She said, yes, I will be there for you. That was number two. The third and the last one was the lady who I was dating at the time. She begged me, and I'm telling you, she begged to take me to the bank. And I told her, I said, girl, go home. I'm in my hood. This is where, I grew up at. I'm good. Long story short, I get shot the same day. I thought I was dreaming. And when it happened, when the first bullet hit me in my arm, I got a plate in my right arm as we speak that bothers me a lot during the winter months. And when it rained and when it snowed, you know how your grandparents would tell you, baby, it's going to rain or snow? Yeah, I know what they mean now because I can tell you when it's going to rain or snow. I'm going to still say my legs because my leg is still there because of the nerves. My legs bother me a lot more when it rains. But going back, let me tell you, there is a God. I seen heaven. I seen the gates of heaven. And what I mean by that is the only thing I saw of God was his forehead down to his nose. And I'm shaking on the gate saying, God, let me in, God, please let me in. And he just kept shaking his head no. And I said, why? And then I got so angry to the point where his fingers must have been if not this long, it might have been longer. And he pointed my forehead down to the bottom of the steps, and my youngest daughter, Kiera, at the time, was down there at the bottom of the steps, and she said, "Daddy, I need you." And that's when they resuscitated me. So meanwhile, I'm telling my mother at the time, I said, "Mom, y'all lost me twice on the operating table, didn't y'all?" She gave me the strange look like, "Who told you?" I said, "Nobody. I'm telling you." I remember them when they brought me back, on the defibrillator. I remember them, putting it on my chest and I'm feeling that pain of shocking me. And they was like, "Come on, Mr. Willis, come on, Mr. Willis, you can make it." And I'm still seeing these bright lights that you don't want to see. But I mean, these lights were bright. But I was knocking on heaven's gate. And when they brought me back and I went into a coma for 15 days, when the doctors tell you to talk to your loved ones because they can hear you, I heard everything around me, and I was wondering why, people were ignoring me at the time. Like, okay, y'all hear me talking to y'all, why y'all ignore me? And the old me, I can smile about it now. I heard the females arguing at the time about who's who, and at the time my daughter's mother, she's arguing about she's the girlfriend, quote unquote.
You probably like, "I'm gonna stay asleep for now at this moment."
Yeah. But that's the old me. That side honestly is gone. Please believe that. That side is gone. Because God has a way of humbling you. But when they tell you to talk to your loved ones when you're in a coma, yes, talk to them. And I'm a witness that they can hear everything that you're saying, and it gives them a fighting chance to say, "Hey, I'm going to pull through this." Because I know without the love that was poured in that room at the time, and I heard them, mentally, and I just couldn't touch them physically, I don't think I would be here today.
So I remember at one point you mentioned that you wanted to kill yourself.
Wow, we talked about a lot, didn't we? Yeah, it's no secret.
Tell me about that.
Wow, this is where the cheating death 4 times come in. Let me just say, before I tried to commit suicide at the time, they had to rush me back to the hospital. I'm gonna say 4 months later because I had internal bleeding. And at the time, my oldest brother and I, we were in the room together, and we were talking, and he was like, "What's wrong?" I said, "My body feel cold." So at the time, I told him, I said, "I think you better call 911. So at the time, he called 911. They rushed me down to Bon Secours Hospital. And Bon Secours Hospital said there's nothing we can do, but they gave me emergency blood fusion until they got me back down to shock trauma. So I had to go back in the hospital, and it was rough. It was rough. I'm like, "God, why am I going through this? I really don't want to be here like this. I really don't. Won't you just, pull a plug, so to speak?" But me trying to commit suicide, that happened March of '98. I tried to commit suicide. I took a whole bottle of Coumadin, which is a blood thinner. And at the time I took it, I was going through a depressed stage in my life. The person who I was dating at the time, I felt like she left me at the time I needed her the most. Me being shot, that changed my life. It was rough. And so at that time, I just wanted to just leave this earth. And my wake-up call was, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, at the time it was Providence Hospital on Libby Heights.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's now that's, I don't know if the college owned it or it's assisted.
Right, it was on across the street from Mondawmin Mall.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, long story short,
I ain't like that hospital.
Long story short, they sent me to see. I'm laughing because I can smile about this now because of my life today. Uh, just thinking back when I was in the psychiatric ward, for some reason everything revolved around 15 days. I was in a coma for 15 days. I supposed to have been evaluated for 15 days. So the nurse come in there this particular day and she said, Mr. Willies, we're gonna let you go. You have to seek outpatient therapy. And this was 2 days later because when you in a psychiatric ward and you see people not clothed in their right mind, that can't feed themselves, can't think for themselves, it makes you think like, what the hell is wrong with me? And at that time I was like, okay, God, I don't know what you have in store for me, but whatever it is, I'm gonna be obedient, I'm gonna listen, and I'm gonna do it. Okay? So when they let me out, I'm gonna call the psychiatric ward. I want to call it the crazy ward because people not clothed in their right mind. I had to seek outpatient therapy, which I had done. I can't call a name, but me and my outpatient therapist, we are like this to this day. She basically told me I helped her because she was going through a divorce, and she saw this strong-willed person in me that I didn't see, but she brought it. She helped bring it out. And long story short, the state of Maryland sent me back to school, and I received my AA in accounting. And then from there, the confidence started coming back, but not the arrogant side. I was able to get a job with the Department of Corrections, and the crazy part is...
And all this is while you're in the wheelchair?
Yes. The crazy part is, no, when I worked for the Department of Corrections, I'm sorry, when I worked for the Department of Corrections, I was able to walk on my KFO leg braces and my crutches as well. I didn't use my wheelchair until after I got hit by a car. That's another situation.
We can talk about that later.
Okay. But I was at the time I was working for the Department of Corrections. I was walking on my KFO leg braces, and I went to the Department of Corrections as an intern. And when they hired me permanent, I was able to go in and out of facilities. And so ran into the guy who shot me and didn't have a clue to who I was at the time. Pulled his 6-digit ID number up and found out it was him. So pulled my supervisor up and we went in her office and talked about it. She said, let me, call the warden down and we need to talk about this with the warden. So can't call no names as far as the warden, but the warden said to me, no, Mr. Willies, I can't say I understand your frustration or your concerns, but what we can do is we can send him, we can keep him in Supermax here at the prison, and we can send you to Jessup. So I said, well, how about you send his ass down to Jessup, and I stay here, on 4th Street in Baltimore City. So he said, no, unfortunately, we have to protect the prisoners, because they belong to the state of Maryland. So I'm like, well, with all due respect, what about my protection? And so he said, well, that's the best we could do. So I said, well, you know what? The best I could do is resign. So I resigned immediately from that particular job at the time. Then moving forward, I got a job in Washington, D.C. For an international law firm, Crowe and Mourning. With this particular job, I was able to travel more. I traveled, to New York, California, and they just opened up 2 more offices around the world. But I've been traveling to those particular states, for work related. And I enjoyed that job, but at the time I was going back to school part-time to try to pursue my BA, because at that time when Crowe Mourning said that they would pay for my education to further it and get a better position there, I said, hey, I'm going to take advantage of it. And I did, but then another roadblock. I'm gonna say another roadblock came, and it was said that, you know, Mr. Willies, look, if you keep traveling like this, the way you are, I had 12 blood clots in my right leg, 3 in my left, and it was said if I keep traveling like this, then eventually it's gonna kill me. Had to let it go. I just said, you know what, I can't win for losing. So at this time, they put me out on short-term disability. And my coworkers, they would joke me because, it was called STD. So, my coworkers were like, hey, Mike, you got STD? I was like, yeah, y'all got jokes. We all know what STD is, sexually transmitted disease. But nevertheless, it was a good job. And they eventually had to put me out on long-term disability. And then the last step was I was going to no longer work there. So the money that I got from long-term disability, I took that money and said, you know what, I got to do something to start my own business. And that's when I started selling cars in 2003. And then from there, I started detailing cars.
So,
go ahead.
This guy is in a wheelchair, and he's also is walking barely on crutches, and he has a detailing business. So for all the people that say they can't do this and can't do that, this guy used to get a team, him and a couple of other guys, they get my car washed, he'd do the wheels, and do the inside, and this is all done, and while this man is in a wheelchair. So I don't want to hear nothing from no young people that you can't do this and can't do that. Because if this guy can do it, anybody can do it. So let's move forward when you start your detailing business.
I started my detail business February 2015, coming up on 10-year anniversary. I'm not working right now because of, again, another roadblock. As you said, I had my leg amputated May 10th of this year.
Hey, let's rewind real quick. Before you got your leg amputated, a few years back, then you get hit again by a car?
I forgot all about that part. Yeah, me beating death.
So he got shot, got blood clot, had to go back in the hospital, blood transfusion, get hit by a car years later again. So this, the devil's chasing him. But God has always been by his side. But so I'll let you finish telling your story.
Wow, I forgot about the getting hit by a car situation. I got hit by a car August 26th of 2018, hit and run on Church Lane. The car hit me and kept going. And the crazy part is, I felt like I was seeing bright lights again. And sure enough, they had to rush me back down to shock trauma. And they said, once a trauma patient, always a trauma patient. Me not knowing that I was going to be in shock trauma again and, cheating death or beating death, however you want to call it. But I do, again, there's a God. I don't know. For some reason, he has a karma on my life and not a period. So I'm going to take advantage of it and keep writing this chapter and keep writing this book until I can't write no more. My kids, they're getting on me about, Dad, you need to write this book, especially my girls. Dad, you finished writing the book? Dad, what chapter you on? When I tell you they owe me, they owe me. I know if it wasn't for my girls and I'm going to say my boys too, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing today. I wouldn't be fighting the way I'm fighting today. And if it wasn't for Tanya, I wouldn't be fighting the way I'm fighting today. With that being said, family over everything. That's what keeps me going. My family keeps me going.
Definitely. You've always been a fighter. I mean, like I said, from a guy being paralyzed over 20-some years ago, still going to work, getting a job, crutches into a wheelchair, and still You know, I mean, this man's in a wheelchair, still driving a van, and he's still working. This is as months ago, detailing cars with his crew. You know, I always told him, I said, you know, he always say, Ty, I always have a problem keeping workers, and I said, well, you always gonna have that issue until somebody just wants to do the same thing you do, wants to do detailing with you as a business or as a partner. As long as you know, they're not in it with you to win it, or be like, do something you want to do. The turnover is going to be, you're just going to always have people turnover, always going to have people quitting. So, you know, just imagine, you know, being in a wheelchair trying to get help, you know. So I applaud this man, you know, for his work, getting up, you know, getting out there, you know, going up the steps with a wheelchair, putting his own wheelchair in his car, and just imagine the mental and the strength this man been through that take a toll on you. So, you know, I told him always, I mean, God put him through it because he knew he can handle it. Because everybody wouldn't be able to handle what he handled, you know. So,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I think we had a discussion about how God subtracted a lot of friends from my life, and the ones he subtracted, he added, and the ones he added, he multiplied. And, you know, you being the ones that he added, and who would have knew, you know, 29 years later that you and I would be good friends, and you'll be doing what you do, love what you do on podcast. Would have never thought in a million years that you would be doing this and you loving it.
Right. I mean, I told him anytime you do something, it's not for the money, you know, it's not a job. You know, I ain't getting nothing from this. You know, I just like, you know, bringing people laughter and, you know, laughter and also real life, you know, situations, real life conversation. It's pretty much saying what you feel. And that's what, you know, that's what we doing over here. But, Mike, your everyday, how many, you know, as far as medication, how many medications you take a day?
Medications, how many I take a day? 5. 3 of them are narcotics. And when I say that, I'm on 30 milligrams of morphine, 60 at night. I take 4 milligram tablets of hydromorphone as needed. And I take diazepam when those nights get real hectic, when I get real bad spasms in my leg. And, you know, when I go to the emergency room, you know, these doctors and nurses are looking like, is he really taking all this medication and still talking? And I'm like, what can I say? My tolerance is high. It's nothing to brag about. You know, again, it's nothing to brag about. It's just that my pain is that severe. Sometimes, no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say sometimes you feel like you just want to just blow your head off, but I promise God that I will never try to commit suicide again. So that's why I deal with it every day. And, you know, somebody say, well, Mike, you make it look easy. No, it's not easy. It's God. It's God, you know, that wake me up every day and do the things I do, you know, whereas though it might take you 10 minutes to get in the shower and get out. You know, truth be told, it'd take me an hour just to take a shower.
Or 2, to be real. You know, I always mess with them, you know, yeah, I know it's going to take them longer to do things, but I still mess with them. You know, that wouldn't be me if I did. You know, I say, damn, we always say, damn, like, you take 3 hours to get somewhere, but I know he got to put his clothes on, you know, got to get the wheelchair, you got to drive. I mean, I know it takes a lot, so, I mean, people understand, I applaud this man. He don't know how much I know. You know, he always telling me he's going to do spasms, and I always try to say something funny to make him laugh, to get him his mind away from that, because I mean, like I said, I told him I wouldn't be able to deal with it. You know, I don't know how, you know, and I ain't gonna say God put knows who can handle what, you know. So for what he's going through, man, it just, you know, just to have good people around him to help him, you know, stay focused and just
That part.
you know. So, and I know it gotta be hard, you know. So, and like I said, you had gotten in a car accident, somebody hit you, it was a hit and run, and moving forward, you know, you got out the hospital, you know, you started back detailing, and then now this happened. You know, tell us about this situation going on now.
Yes. Moving into that, Will acid spilled on my leg, on my right leg, and my left leg at the time.
This came from detailing?
Yes. And Will acid is nothing to be played with. If anybody didn't know what it does to
Your wheels.
yes, that part, what it can do to the human flesh. It was literally eating my flesh up, and to the point where I had an infection in my right leg, and it was moving up so rapidly that I tried to fight it for 4 years. I did. Let's see, I got 2018 when the accident happened. Yeah, so 4 years I tried to fight it, and couldn't do it anymore. They said, you know, Mr. Willies, we're going to take your leg below the knee. And then they said, no, this thing is going out of control. We're going to take it above the knee. And Ty, I'll tell you, it was a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I know you were telling me about it before it happened. That, you know, it was something you knew you was going to have to deal with. You was hoping they was at one point. You know, he was telling me they might can fix it. They found a way. You know, that was just some. You know, as the doctors thought they can fix it, but then that was just something that. You know, at that point that was just another barrier. It couldn't be fixed. You know, then it comes to the point you gotta get amputated.
Yeah, it was a hard pill to swallow, but if it wasn't for family and friends, I don't think I would have made it this far. And again, it takes me back to where God added friends to my life. Not only did He add friends to my life, but He added nothing but positive energy to my life. When we met, how we met, you know, we met through through a friend of mine that's a good friend of yours, how we met, and now, you know, we became good friends. And, you know, we was having a conversation about how I might not see you for a week or two, but when we do see each other and we link up, it's like we never missed a beat. Hey man, how you feeling? First thing come out your mouth. Then, like you said, you'll make a joke. You know, if I'm feeling bad or I'm in a lot of pain, you'll say something to take my mind off the pain. And God knew what He was doing when He added those type of friends to my life. You know, somebody might take it as, you know, when y'all be joking, they might take it the wrong way. Like, you know, why would they say something like that?
Like, people don't understand what I can say to them, everybody else can't say to them, because we got that type of communication, we got that type of friendship. You know, I say things, he know me and him is always on. We play a lot, so the average person ain't gonna really say it. Average person won't get checked by me if they don't know him like that. You know, but
and you know, not to cut you off, it's not just you. I could talk about our organization, the Smoke Brothers. You know, the Smoke Brothers, period, we all live, love, and laugh every day. Just recently, we had a holiday party that I couldn't attend. And, you know, the first thing Ty asked was, you know, why I didn't show up. The reason why I didn't show up was because I was feeling bad that day. I was going through some things, but I was there in spirit. And so, I saw on the chat, the group chat, that he put a laugh out loud, like laughing about it. Only friends can do that, and we get a good laugh out of it. So if y'all ever see us out and about and they might make a joke, don't be offended by it. That's just what we do. We live, love, and laugh every day, literally.
that is true. And before we get back into that, I want everybody to understand that, You know, as far as men, you know, we deal with things a little bit different. You know, sometimes we have a lot of things bottled up, and it's because it's the way we've been built. You know, we've been built a certain way, so sometimes we have things, you know, in us that, you know, and we've got to deal with things a little different. So, you know, but as far as men is, like I spoke about it before, there's nothing wrong with, you know, speaking with someone about the smallest thing or anything, you know, because we go through things different than women. Women go through things, but sometimes we need somebody that we can console with and let them, you know, like I said before, it could be a therapist or it could be a family member, but we are human.
This is therapy right here.
Right, we're human, you know, so we're human, you know, we're not perfect, you know, and it's sometimes, not, I ain't even gonna say sometimes, it's like, just like a person get their feet done, I get my feet done, you get a massage, it's the same thing with mental. You have to go get, every once in a while, you gotta decompress, you gotta get that, you gotta get the muscles relaxed, you gotta get your feet done, you gotta get your mind done. So that's how I look at it. Every once in a while, every couple weeks, you gotta get your mind done to get that stress out. So look at it like that. You know, look at it, you know, health and wellness. When you get your feet done, you know, get your massage. Oh, now I gotta get my head done. You know, I'm talking about both heads, but I'm just saying, look at it that way. Like you have to, you know, release stress, and sometimes it's talking about it. You know, whoever you feel you can talk about it. Talk about it.
You know what? Hold me to that. I'm gonna go with you one day to get my foot done. You know, when they heal. Just give me one foot. Let me get that foot done, and I'm gonna get my nails done because I know there's a lot of smoke brothers are into that, pampering themselves.
Ain't nobody gonna treat you better than you treat yourself.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I mean, you gonna have your lady or treat you good, but you know yourself what you like, what you need. Not saying they won't treat you good, but I mean, you know what the best way to treat yourself. Only you will know that over anybody. You know, the same with your lady, whatever. They will know. But like I said, I always live by nobody gonna treat you better than yourself.
Wow, that goes back to the conversation we just had earlier. That's one reason why I tried to commit suicide. I guess I didn't love myself more than I love others. I think I was in the idea of being in love with that individual person more than so loving myself. So yeah, not saying in an arrogant way, but yeah, I do love me more than I love somebody else. I love me more than, you know, no disrespect to you. I love me first. Yeah, I love you as my brother from another mother, but at the end of the day, I'm in love with Sir Michael Antoine Willis. And yes, I said my whole government name. I'm in love with this dude. And again, I'm not saying it in an arrogant way, but yeah, I'm in love with me.
And you should. I mean, oh, your mother loved that face. You know. But now let's go forward. You know, we were talking about, you know, as far as the amputation now, you know, I know it. I mean, I can't even say I know it. The only person who know that is you, but as far as the mental and the physical and the pain, you know, I know it had to bother you, you know. I know, I mean, I just only can imagine.
Yeah, the things that I went through in life, I wouldn't wish on a dog. The things that I go through in life right now, I wouldn't wish on a dog. Sometimes I feel like I'm the book of Job. You know, God is testing me, and He want to see if I'm going to pass the test. And I'm going to look in this camera, and I'm going to say to God, I'm going to pass this test. So, yes, I'm going to pass this test.
And people don't understand it like far as men. You know, it can also be women, but, you know, when, you know, he's taking medications, you know, right now he got a leg amputated. He's in a wheelchair, you know. It ain't even just got to be him. It can be an average person that's on regular medication. Like, you know, a lot of these medications can mess with you mentally, can mess, you know, a lot of side effects, you know. You can have, you know, sex dysfunction. You know, all of that can mess with you mentally. You know, and it's not that you don't want to perform at your highest, but depending on what you're taking, what you're not taking, or you know, your mental, it can bother. You know, and that's one situation that a man can go through. You know, but it's you know, just for somebody to go through the trauma he went through is just, I mean, it still be here. I look at him, he's a hero to me, you know. He don't even know that, you know, but because I look at it and think about some of the things he went through, and to be like, man, you know, I get mad at him sometimes, and I tell him, you know, I tell him how I feel.
That's what friends do.
But, you know, as far as, you know, I look, as far as being a hero, I mean, as far as what he go through every day, what he's going through, and then for him to be able to go through it, it's you know, it's hard. You know, I know it got to be hard, and that's why I applaud him. You know, I applaud that man. I do.
But as far as the amputation, that's a whole total different pain. Like I go through this pain that they call phantom pains, where it literally feel like I'm having one right now as we speak. I'm sorry. I guess because I was saying something about it.
It's like a short.
I go through this thing. It's called phantom pain, and it honestly feel like I'm tensing up, but it actually feel like my leg is like literally right here, and it feel like my toes are cramping up, and they basically said that's called phantom pain. And what the phantom pain is, it's no joke. It's a total different pain compared on over top of the pain that I went through from when I got shot back in '96. It's a whole total different pain, and that's why, you know, I didn't even speak about the gabapentin. And anybody that take that know that that medication is supposed to put you to sleep. I'm on 1,500 milligrams. I had a friend of mine, he said, man, I just take 100 milligrams. And that shit, excuse my language, had me out. And you taking 1,500 to my one, I know people that take 300 milligrams, and it said, and it, you know, it said that it puts them to sleep. Shit. You know, since we getting deep, it don't do shit for me.
So you eat them shits like Skittles?
Yes, pretty much. 3 times a day. And Tanya can tell you, I'll be up all night some nights. Sometimes I'll be wanting to nudge her like, wake your ass up. You know, when she come home from work and, you know, she tired, she go to sleep at the drop of a dime.
Anybody got to connect on some of them, let me know.
See what I mean?
Maybe you're pushing, man.
See, you know, this is the jokes. This right here is the truth of him coming out. This is what we do. We live, love, laugh, and I enjoy that because to me, 2 things make the world go round: laughter and music.
It's true. Bring people together.
I think those 2 things make the world go round. But when I got my leg amputated, I'm sorry we jumping back and forth all over the place. When they said they had to do it, it was a hard pill for me to swallow. It took some time for it to sink in. They told me, you know, 2 weeks before the surgery, May 10th, that they had to take it. So I don't know, but can you imagine you looking at your leg, knowing that it's going to be gone in 2 weeks? That shit bothered me more mentally than physically. And then, you know, not knowing if you're going to wake up once they, you know, put you under that knife, you know, how things are going to turn out. Because like I said, I'm on Coumadin. I'll be on Coumadin for the rest of my life because of me having 12 blood clots in my right, 3 in my left. You know, when I came through, and it was crazy because my leg felt like it was still there. But when I pulled the sheets from over me, excuse me for saying it this way, but that motherfucker was gone. So it was like, shit, my leg is really gone. And I have to deal with this. And I thought it was going to be easy because I already use a wheelchair. And I'm not going to lie to you, we men. Um, it's been many a days I cried because my leg was gone. Um, Things that I thought I can do easy, it's not easy. Like going up and down the steps without your leg, it's not easy. Your balance is off as opposed to when I did have my leg and I was going up and down the steps in my chair. You would have to see how I do it to believe it. Maybe one day we could do a short segment of that, me going in and out my apartment on how I get in and out. And that's why my ass is older now and I'm looking for a rancher. And I know God gonna bless me with this rancher.
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry, we're gonna do a segment one day on that.
okay. But I'ma say when this was gone and I was in rehab and they had me doing all these crazy exercises and I know that I've been through this before, so I thought it was gonna be easy. But I'm here to say to you probably something I never said. I cried many a days, man. Many a days, like, because I thought this thing was going to be hard. And I'm going to say, when I learned how to go up and down the steps again on my own, it took my youngest son to be my coach. We would practice going up and down the steps. And I have a video segment of it where he was actually my lifeline coach, showing me how I need to do it. You would have thought he was a physical therapist. And when I went to physical therapy one morning at University of Maryland Rehabilitation Center, my therapist could not believe the strength that I have to get up and down the steps. And again, like I said, it's not me, it's God, because I know without him, I wouldn't be able to do half the things that I'm doing today. I'm able to see both of my daughters down the aisle when they got married. My oldest son, I missed his wedding because I was in the hospital. But I know, and he know that I was there in spirit. He works in mysterious ways. Just thinking about it, how I spent many days in the hospital on special occasions. I spent 2 hospital settings on my birthday. Now that I think about it, how many people want to be in the hospital on their birthday? You know, on your birthday, you want to be out celebrating with your family, your friends, and as we do, we gonna turn up, smoke a cigar and chop it up. But it's been plenty of days where I missed special occasions, like just recently. I missed the Christmas celebration for the Smoke Brothers, and at the same time, nobody know what I go through. I can tell them what I go through, but they would only imagine what I go through. But as far as the pain and what I go through, yeah, I'm gonna make it look easy. My kids, they really think I'm Superman, and even Kryptonite got the Superman to where he was weak. So I say that to say I have my days where my body just feel weak, and I have my days to where I say, God damn it, I'm gonna do this shit, and I'm gonna make it another day. Let's be real. It's been times I supposed to been detailing your wife's car, and I might have got to it a day later or so. You would make a joke about it, but at the same time, I know people's time is valuable. And I think because of the friendship that we have, I think that's for some reason you'll let it slide, honestly. You can tell me if I'm wrong. You would wait another day. You would really wait another day or two for me to do
Well,
a call.
to be honest, I'm gonna let it slide. 'Cause I know, gotta be hard, but on the same note, I know he don't want to be treated no differently, so I let him know how I feel. Like, look, Mike, I'm strict about my time. I need you here at a certain time. So, even though he was in a wheelchair, I'm not gonna treat him no different. just because he don't want to be treated different. He know that. So I'm gonna say, look, you know you're supposed to be in 9 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock. And he might say, well, Ty, this. Ty, well, you should have called me and let me know. I could have rescheduled. But I still hold him accountable, you know, because I think a lot of people that's in wheelchairs, they don't want to be treated on different. They don't want to be treated like, oh, be easy on them just because they human, they get up. You know, they might get up, take a little longer, but they still want to be treated the same. So I always treat them, you know, like you're saying, I don't treat them like you're in a wheelchair.
And that is true, and I think that's why you came up with the podcast, Say What You Feel. I'm going to put this segment out there, if you don't mind, to family or friends, because I want them to see this podcast, and I want them to see, you know, the subject that you talk about on a daily basis. You talk about real shit. I shouldn't say that because my aunts and them and my uncles, they probably be looking at it like, is this boy really cussing on, you know, on the air?
Bro, what you saying what you feel?
But, you know, this is real life stuff what you talk about on a daily basis. I don't know how you come up with the subjects, but I applaud you for that. I want to say what you feel.
But I also want to say that any doctors that ever catch this episode, you know, anybody, you know, I know in the future he's probably going, you know, he's trying to get a leg on there, right? Prosthesis leg.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you got different donations out here, you know, they can do it, that does it, you know, but if y'all see this segment and y'all want, you know, say y'all want to invest in this man and give him one, or also, like I said, I mean, if you want to send him a cash app. What's your cash app, Mike? Somebody see this?
It's the dollar sign, of course, MWILLIES.
You said it right?
That's it. I had to think about it. That's it. Again, it's dollar sign MWILLIES.
Okay, so anybody would like to send, like I said, he's not out here begging, asking for anything. I'm saying this as a friend, you know, because I know what he's going through, and I know God, ain't nobody ashamed of nothing. If somebody give me $1, I'm gonna take it, you know, and tell you thank you. So, you know, if somebody out here just wanna just even give something, you know, this year, if you want to give something to somebody, give it to this man, you know, because he, you know, he'll do the same, you know, he'll give out, you know, he'll give you a free car wash, you know, he will give anything, you know, he'll take the shirt off his back to give to somebody, because I know his character, you know, he'll give anything. So anything y'all want to give to him, you know, you can, you know, if you don't remember the Cash App, you can ask it in the chat, you know, once you finish watching the podcast, and we'll put it in there, you know. Like I said, it's the season. So, like I said, he's going to have a book coming out soon. So I guess when he get the book, he can put it back on, he's going to come back on and put it on the podcast. And, you know, y'all can go buy the book as well. That's when you get to it. But, you know, this the beginning of putting his little bit of his life story out. But it's not the end for him, you know, this is just the beginning. You know, it's the beginning of the new beginning. So he just going through his obstacles he's going through in life. As we all do, you know. And just another obstacle for him to go to. You know, like I put something out on, you gotta check the podcast out. The devil hates seeing you win. Because every time he see you getting up, Mike, and you getting back in that fight, like I put out, the devil like, God damn, here you go again. I gotta break him down again. I gotta figure out what I gotta do to get him down again. But you keep getting back up. You keep winning. So the devil don't like us keep winning. You know, he wants us to stay there. He wants us to be sad. He wants us to just to kill ourselves. That's what they want. You know, that's what he wants. So as long as you keep winning and you keep waking up and you thinking God, all of that is hurting them, you know. So you just gotta keep, you know, just believing in God. Just as an obstacle of life, you know. You know, nobody ever wanted. No, you didn't want this part of your obstacle, but God gave it to you. And you only one that can handle it, you know. So, like I said, this peace and blessings.
Wow. Okay. Sorry, guys and ladies. I wasn't expecting to hear this segment to where I got tears coming on my eyes, but you know what? We grown as men. There's nothing wrong for a man crying in front of another man. What you just said, you know, I felt it. It was like right there in my gut, and that's why I got a little teary eyed. But I'm gonna try to push these tears back because I don't want you joking me later.
I ain't gonna joke.
But again, I wouldn't wish this on a dog, you know, what I go through on a daily basis. But God has His chosen ones that He chooses, that He knows is going to win the battle. Everything that I went through in life and that I'm going through in life, I know that the devil got to get permission from God before any of these things took place. It's nothing to brag about beating death 4 times. You know, I don't want y'all to get that impression that I'm bragging about it, because I'm not. It's nothing to brag about. I just know that, again, God chooses the ones that's going to fight His battle. And I think that He chose me because He know that on the other end, I'm going to beat this battle. Again, I'm sorry for the tears, man. Wow. I know for a fact that I'm going to beat this fight in the end. When it's all said and done. And all my friends that know me, my family that know me, at the end of the day, I'm going to fight till I can't fight no more.
So if you don't know, then you know this guy's a fighter. He gonna fight to the end. He always been fighting, you know what I mean? And from the moment I met him, he's been fighting. So he probably one of the toughest guys I met. I know. You know, and this is in a wheelchair, you know, so, like I said, you know, just you got a book coming, you know, and like I said, we're going to do some more episodes with him showing his everyday struggle, what he go through, you know, going up the steps and out the steps, getting in the car. We're going to show you what he go through and what he's overcome. So when I see these young people out here don't want to work, don't want to do that, and if he can do it and everything he's going through, there's no excuses, so we don't want no excuses. That's why I get up, even though I don't feel like it sometimes, because I know what he do. So, you know, and like I said, God wakes me up, and I'm about my way. So, like I said, anything else you want to say, Mike, before you finish?
I'm not even sure if we even covered everything that we were going to talk about, but
I mean, you know, it's so much, like I said.
It's a lot.
We can, you know,
but it's going to be in my book.
We can do multiple, you know, podcasts if it's something else he wants to touch on. Like we here, you know, like I said, you know, just basically, we gave it a little bit in a small time frame just to, you know, but this is way bigger than this, you know. If somebody out here want to write a movie, I want to write a story on this, it's the man for you, but it's way bigger than this. But, you know, it's just a small version of it.
Yes, I agree. It is. It's definitely a small version of Say What You Feel. But I want to thank you for doing this podcast. I know you've been trying to get me to do it for a minute. It's just that I had to get my mind right of, you know, everything that was going to come out. So
just imagine this small version in what, 20, 30 years you've been going through this?
Yes.
So just imagine that, 30 years current in this little bit of time. So we just give small bites of it. So, but it's definitely deeper than this. It's just giving you the foundation of it. So like I said, things gonna be coming out. You got a question, you know, look at the podcast, you want something, you want to ask him, you know, you got his Cash App, you want to send him something, you want to reach out, you know, we're here, you know, we're just glad for everybody just tuning in, just liking the channel, keep showing love, I keep showing y'all, and we're gonna keep saying what we feel. Like I said, peace and blessings.
Peace.